Hey guys, it's been forever and a day since I made my last video, and I've been kind of trying to find a topic that I really wanted to talk about. I've tried to make a few videos here and there, but I didn't think they were very interesting, and I found that I didn't have a lot to say about the topics that I'd chosen. But the other day, randomly, Bray and I started talking about the triple goddess. What we just ended up talking about was really interesting because I think a lot of people don't understand the triple goddess the way they think they do, or the way they probably should. A lot of us see the symbolism in age, in the cycle of the human life, but we don't look beyond that to figure out what it means. It's a symbol for more than the human life. It's a symbol for spiritual development. It's a symbol for everything. And a lot of people don't also realize that there's a triple god which has similar stages as the triple goddess. They are youth, warrior or father, depending on who you talk to, and sage. So the first two are pretty much exactly the same as the triple goddess, but the second one is up for debate, but I find that they're still very similar in their symbolism and their actual meaning. We also find that society shapes our view of these a lot. Today's society doesn't always respect youth the way we should, or respect our elders the way we should. Society still, to this day, though it's changing a bit, it's still really unacceptable, societally speaking, to not have a family. It's ingrained in us that we are to grow up, mature, find a mate of the opposite gender, get married, and have children. So if for any reason you fall out of that norm, you're unacceptable. Even if you're married and you don't have children, it's still odd. I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm saying society says that it is. And that's really sad. The triple goddess seems to kind of go along with that mold. However, it depends on how you analyze it. Maiden or youth is the time where we're free. We're learning about ourselves, and it's about independence and fostering that independence and that self-image. It's a time of discovery, and it's a beautiful time. Our society accepts youth in as far as its innocence. Once we lose that innocence and move into adolescence, when sexual urges and other drives come into play and we are no longer innocent or naive, it's automatically a threat. They're treated with distrust. It's no longer acceptable. So in that respect, we don't honor youth or the maiden aspect the way we should. Either way, it's a time of blossoming. It's pretty much dependent on the self, but there are interactions with others which eventually lead us into the mother or father stage, depending on which triple aspects we're working with here. That is when either we have children and a family, or we give ourselves to others. It's about bringing our spirituality and our beauty of ourself out to the masses and sharing it. It's about giving to others, through which we continue to learn about ourselves and our spirituality. It's not just about having physical children and being a physical mother. It's much more than that. It's that mother mentality, that nurturing mentality, or that father mentality. The problem with the father role I see is that society never really has given fathers their due. It's always the mother that is seen as the nurturer, and the father just goes out and supports the family. If we are to accept the father model, it is either to, if we're going by society's views, to go out and provide for his family and therefore give to others, or we're to question that and see him as a nurturer and see him as much more of a motherly role model, as active in his children's lives, which, again, society tells us isn't what is to be expected because of what is expected of men. They're not supposed to be feminine. They're not supposed to show their softer side, which these paths where we accept these triple god and triple goddess models make us question. They make us find within ourselves the masculine and feminine within us, whichever is opposite of our actual or physical sex. Moving on to the crone or sage portion of that triple god or triple goddess, we see still as in the mother stage or the father stage, giving to others, sharing your wisdom now, which we did in the mother and father stage, but we have now experienced both of those stages. We've experienced almost everything life has to offer. We've found wisdom, we've fostered ourselves, we've helped others, and now we're still trying to share that with everyone. This is the epitome in most people's minds of spiritual power. I don't know if that's so. Physical power is often seen as at its height in the mother or father stage, but then spiritual power is at the crone stage. I see where they're coming from, but I don't know if any one can be signaled out for the point of the height of physical or spiritual power. Each of them have very different things to offer, and I can see where they're coming from with the spiritual thing, because you've found all of those things that the stages have had to offer and brought them into yourself, but that doesn't always occur. Again, these are models for us to strive toward. Not everyone is going to experience them at the right time in their life, because they're not about age. They're not about getting through tests per se and like passing or failing. It's a very individual experience. It's very unique to you. And there's no point in your life where you're going to be like, okay, I'm a mother, even if you are a physical mother. You may not yet be in the mother stage, as we see in the headlines all the time. But moving back on the triple god aspect to warrior, I view that as kind of the same, because you are giving to others by protecting them and providing safety and liberty to them. You're just doing it in a different way. And I think it's telling that men are provided two opportunities, depending on who you talk to their triple god, whereas women are only offered the mother. I'm trying not to sound horribly feministy on you guys, but I'm just saying we only get one option and they have several. I'm trying to break this down as simply as I can while still getting into very advanced concepts, so I'm just trying to give you guys a basis for your own examination of these further than age. Again, it's not about age, it's about phases in life and phases in spiritual development. So, while we're on the topic, I would like to state that these are not ancient concepts, because when we started talking about them, and I kind of brought up a few of these feminist points about how women are expected to be mothers and blah blah blah, someone brought up that they would have been in ancient times and there wouldn't have been much else for them to do, but since these aren't ancient concepts, it's still telling of society fairly recently, at least I think almost a century old. I'm not 100% sure about exactly when they originated, but I'm pretty sure it was around the the early 1900s. If someone knows the date, please post it below. But again, not ancient concepts. Ancient gods have been fit into these models, but they were not originally viewed as such, or it wasn't as universal as it is today. You can apply it to several goddesses that people would have looked at you odd if you would have done it back then. The only other thing I wanted to say about this is the triple god and triple goddess, like everything, are symbols. Religion is about symbols, and it is up to us to analyze them and to not just view them at face value and take it from there. Because it's in analyzing the symbol that we find its application to human life and the human experience. It's through analysis that we find its relation to ourselves and our spirituality. And if we only view it at face value, we're not getting the full religious experience that symbol can provide. It's a lot of work often, but it's vital to cultivating your own spiritual experience. And I'm not sure why you would rob yourself of that. But so I guess I'm talked out for now on the triple god and triple goddess, or as much as YouTube will let me talk about them in my limited amount of time. So I'm probably going to make another video right after this, so I'll talk to you guys in a second.